Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hawk Talk. I am one of your hosts, Colin Cole. I am joined by my resident co-host, two-time All Big Ten, three-year starter at right tackle. Last week's show, he talked a little bit about himself. I did that a lot last year, but I'm gonna let him gloat a little bit. That's better for him to do than to me, anyways. But without further ado, my co-host David Porter. David, welcome, buddy.
Thank you, man. I'm glad to be here again. It's always fun being here with you and spending some time. Man, you talk about me. We're not going to talk about you like at all. Like
No
you're
problem.
kind of special. It's a really big deal what you've done.
There's no
I think
purpose.
it's awesome.
There's no need. What we can talk about is we can talk about these Hawkeyes. Let's jump right
Oh
into it.
wow.
We're going to talk
Can we?
about Hawkeye Nation versus
Can we not?
Cyclone Nation. We're going to
I
talk
guess we have
about
to.
we're going to talk about September 11th. Unfortunately, it's of 2022, which was not a very good day for Hawk fans. 10-7 is your final score of what was a very difficult game to watch. If you like offense, it was not a very good performance. It was definitely one of those. It was kind of a little bit of a pickup from the week previous, what we saw from South Dakota State. But what we do know is that we did put up an offensive touchdown this week, David. LaShawn Williams was able to get into the end zone with a run off of an early turnover that the Hawk defense was able to get from that Cyclone offense. Quick march into the end zone. So let's just start there. The ground game got started early, the first couple minutes of the game, and where'd it go from there?
It kind of it got going. I thought we had great momentums, like you said, after that off of that turnover. Again, cost by our great defense. Those guys are actually playing really, really well. But once we got that ball in there, we had good momentum going. That's the first quarter, the first time I realized our offense has started quickly in a while, and it looked like the ball we were just going to start to roll, and then all of a sudden, we just kind of we got a slow motion button, or we hit a pause, and the offense started to sputter, 3 and out, and then you start to see Iowa State there start to get some more confidence, right? And as they started to get more confidence, it kind of played out throughout the rest of the game. We didn't score another touchdown nor a field goal for the rest of the game. We're rolling donuts for the next 3 quarters. And these guys came in the second quarter and they kicked the field goal, got the field goal in. So we're 7-3 up going into the half, right? Coming off the second half, we're looking at it, and third quarter, defensive struggle. The defenses out there were just they were awesome. You had the sack leader, the reigning sack leader and ISU history out there playing against our offense. And then you got our defense out there playing against Mr. Decker out there. So it was a defensive struggle. We called this last week, and going into the fourth quarter, we had a chance. I mean, that's pretty much all you can ask for these days. We had a chip and a prayer, and we got out there and they scored a touchdown, and we didn't. And that really was the game. We even at the end, our defense got the ball back for us with an opportunity to score and send us to score, win the game, or two to kick a field goal and send us in overtime, and we just couldn't execute for whatever reason that was. So hard fought game. Definitely a defensive struggle. Our special teams, I mean, we had 2 block punts that really kept it really closer than what it really was. But that, I think it was the third quarter drive by Iowa State, that 21-play, 99-yard drive. They started in the third quarter and then in the fourth and then touchdown. That took all the air out of Kinnick. And they imposed their will on us. And at that point, it looked like there really wasn't much we could do about it. So that kind of momentum just shifted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's no question about that. I mean, you and I talked about that. That was a 99-yard drive that lasted 11 minutes and 49 seconds that took up 21 plays. 21 plays. 11 minutes and 49 clock minutes and seconds. Like that's demoralizing to any team. It reminded
Yeah.
me, it reminded me, David, a lot of the 2015 championship team when they went into Indy to play Michigan State, to that game-winning
Wow.
drive that team had. That's what it reminded me of, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
the thing about it, the difference is that this team, this defense, not only did they create turnovers, not only did they hold Iowa State under their season average total, but they got the ball back. And like you said, there was an opportunity for this offense to move down the field and tie it up to end regulation, regardless of what the score was, regardless of what the numbers were. I mean, Spencer at that point was 12 for 20. He went to the game 12 for 26, 92 yards, one interception. Our total offensive output on the ground, I want to say we had about 18 carries for less than a little over 50 yards.
About 58. Yep.
58 yards, bro. So the defense, special teams worked tremendously and gave the offense opportunities, and things just weren't able to work out. What were you? I mean, obviously, Spencer going 12 for 26 is not lights out. Being able to only amass 92 total yards. Where are they coming up short, in your opinion, at this point?
At this point, I mean, we're missing wide open receivers. There's no way to put it. I mean, the ball is sailing over the receiver's head. It's not getting to that right, I'll call it a catchable pocket for the receivers to even be able to make a play on the ball. And our third down efficiency, we were only 3 for 11. Right, that's tough. We got a defense playing like that. We got to give them some rest. The time of possession is really just crushing our defense. These guys are taking a lot of plays, and we saw that. And once we got to that 21 play, 99-yard drive, the defense at some point there was like they need a break. There's only so much these muscles can take. So third down efficiency, sustaining a drive, sustaining your blocks. That's kind of where we have to be. We got to establish the run game because right now, from what I saw there, they're not respecting the run game or the pass game. And these defenses are just pinning their ears back and coming.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is the case. We talked about the run game, talked about the performance or lack thereof. What are some of the positives that we take out of this game? When we talk about what we saw from LaShawn Williams, we saw Gavin Williams getting there a little bit, and that's the guy I want to see more of, man. But what are you thinking about where this team has to go? I mean, what were some of the things that we would say have been a positive growth wise, week 1 to week 2?
The positive thing was like the first quarter, we saw the run game get going. Right, they started hitting that back seam, that back home, like we were talking about last year, and it seems as though LaShawn is reading that hole pretty well. But Gavin, I definitely want to see him out in there in the mix. He was slated to be the starter this year. There's reason for that. And Betts, he was a pretty good running back for us when he played. I think he's a pretty good judge of ability of a running back too. So getting Gavin back there, letting him mesh with that offensive line, and getting that going, it'll take some pressure off the run game. I think that'll help out a lot to get that going, because 58 yards of rushing is really tough to win a game, especially as we're going into the Big Ten season. We got one more game against Nevada, then we're flying out east to Rutgers,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's Michigan after that.
The schedule gets real. It gets real.
Yes, it's very real.
This cyclone. Let's wrap these guys up. I don't want to talk about them too much, but this cyclone offense led by Deckers. He had a decent day, but he threw 2 picks. This Hawkeye defense is real. Has done a tremendous job going back the last couple of years, but this year, I saw some guys make some plays, man. The Schulte kid, number 30, he can really make some plays for this defense. And one of the other things that I have to say is that they're bringing along a lot of these younger players too. We saw Parade All-American or McDonald's All-American Cooper DeJean. I don't want to say his name correctly. I hope it's DeJean. The young man from Des Moines, youngster out of Des Moines. He's got, as a true freshman, he got some key reps, and he made some key plays. A couple of plays he almost had a interference on or holding on, but he's going to be a great addition for this team. If we can manage to keep him on on his roster, he'll definitely continue to grow and being a part of Phil Parker's defense. So we see what those players are able to do. So so let's move on to our receiving core. Right, we had 4 players with receptions throughout the game, and that was a total of 12 receptions. Sam Laporta led the crew with 8 total catches, 55 yards. Luke Lachey was next with 2 catches for 14 yards. Alec Wick and Arlen Bruce round out the receiving with 2 catches, 1 apiece, 1 with 14 for Alec Wick and 1 of 9 for Arlen Bruce. But Arlen got a couple of run opportunities, but he didn't get any yards from those carries. My man Potterbomb, I feel for my man Potterbomb, man. Fullbacks don't get the ball. Fullbacks don't play in the game anymore. Fullbacks don't even, it's almost non-existent position now. But my man Potterbomb got a carry and he let it go. It was heartbreak. It was crushing. It was a crushing blow for the offense. It was crushing for my man Potterbomb. I ain't gonna give him the ball no more. So I hope that he's able to recover. I hope our offense can come back from that. But we talk about this passing game. We already talked about last week the injuries that this offense is dealing with. Where do we go from here? I mean, how do we get this passing game on track, and how does this offense find its rhythm again?
Well, I'm not sure where we go. I mean, if we get the receivers back and they're healthy, that's a start, right? But when you call these stats out, and our offense total looked up, we put up 92 yards passing total, and their one player, Xavier Hutchinson, had 98 yards receiving. Right, that's one player beat our entire team, and you keep going down the list. His number 2 guy, Jalen Noel, he had 23. Our number 2 guy had 14. We just need to get our guys more balls, and their top receivers are actually the wide receivers, not the tight ends. That becomes a really big thing for us. We know we have guys that are down. We had those 2 transfers. Charlie, he and Tyrone both went to Purdue. They're number 1 and number 2 at Purdue right now. I think Charlie had 128, 130 yards receiving last week. Tyrone had like 38 or 40. Plus he had another 40 yards rushing. I mean, we need to find ways to fill those holes that are left there, those vacancies from Charlie leaving and Tyrone leaving, and getting these guys healthy really helps. Nico Reganey, I'm not sure how healthy he's going to be in the next couple of weeks, but getting him back really helps. Take some pressure off these guys, because it's not just the game; it's also the reps in practice these guys are dealing with as well. Right? That's a lot on these guys. Just like on the defense, if they start getting a lot of plays and it accumulates over time, it's just going to break them down. So.
No question, man. No question. On the season so far, our guy Spencer Petras is 23 for 51 total, with a total of 201 yards and 2 interceptions, no touchdowns yet. The burning question is on Hawkeye Nation's mind: how long do we stick with Spencer Petras as a starting quarterback? What does this coaching staff need to decide? What do they need to see to make the decision to go ahead and move on and give Alex Padilla an opportunity? Not even necessarily to move on, but at least give him an opportunity to see if this offense can get a spark from what Alex brings to the table. How long do you think that it lasts before that happens?
If I'm Iowa, I'm doing it this week. We got 2 games. I'll call them tune-up games, right? We got Nevada, then we got Rutgers, and then here comes Michigan. And then I know they're saying they haven't had enough film to do a fair evaluation on Petras, but I mean, he's a 3-year starter. He's a 5th-year senior. I'm not sure how much more time we really need to evaluate him, but whatever time they need to do this, I think a fair thing would be, let's look at Alex and what he does in the game compared to what Spencer does in a game. They both get 2 games, and as we really get into the Big Ten season, and the guys they're top 10 in the country come into our house, and then we have to go to Ohio State as well. I forgot about that. Then we can really say, okay, we have a real live game situation, and we'll call it evaluation, film to evaluate off of. I think that's fair, but that's what I would be doing. I'm not sure what they're going to do.
That's a good, yeah. I don't think any of us know what they're going to do. I talked about it in the last show. Kirk Ferentz said that he had an open competition back in the spring and evaluated both of those guys, and Spencer gives this offense the best chance to win. So, that being said, if that is the case, what do we expect to see from Alex Padilla? We don't know. However, what we've seen so far this season at least gives a lends the thought to bringing in somebody who can maybe add a different spark. As we know, Alex Padilla is more of a runner. As we know, he likes to throw on a run. And as we know, with a young and inexperienced offensive line, it's probably better to move the pocket, get him out on some naked, some boots, get him out of the pocket. Don't have him be a guy that's sitting in the pocket and having to maneuver a pocket, dealing with the pass rush coming straight at you. So that's what I hope they look at. There's no knock on Spencer whatsoever. It's a difficult situation because you want your best 11 out on the field. But at this point, at 1-1, and considering how this offense ended last season, how the defense and special teams scored more points than the offense did the second half of the season, I think that short of somebody riding in on a white horse, some from somewhere, saving this team, you have to explore your options. And I would assume that this program still has aspirations of getting back into Big Ten conversation. Still has aspirations, obviously, of moving the team forward with a lot of the talent that they have. So guys got to step up, and the coaches got to make the difficult decisions. So that's my take on it. We'll see how things shake out. Nevada comes to Iowa City this upcoming Saturday. It's gonna be another opportunity. But the thing about it, man, is this offense hasn't shown anything thus far this season. So we'll see how things shake out from here. Any last thoughts, David?
And I'm with you. I'm hoping for vast improvement from week 2 to week 3. That step that we were all anticipating from week 1 to week 2. I'm not quite sure we took a full step there. So I'm very hopeful for the season. But we with this whole NIL and the transfer portal and all that good stuff, we need to be mindful that these kids actually do have options these days too.
Oh, no
Recent
question.
history should tell us that.
No question. That's where this game is. So 7:30 p.m. We're gonna bring you the pregame show later this week. But 7:30 p.m. Iowa City, Iowa, Kinnick Stadium, play host to the Nevada Wolfpack. So it's gonna be an exciting game. We'll see how that shakes out. Until next time, we'll see you. I'm Colin Cole. Also bringing to you David Porter. Thank you guys for joining us, and go Hawks.
Go Hawks.